Response please. Roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 70, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. We'll talk about the interest. I also discussed that we are different from one to another. So many type of students might be there in our class. All those students are not same in the view of interest. Everyone has different interests. Am I right? And that is why we like to have different foods. Someone may be momo, someone may be chow chow, right? Someone may be nganam or pizza or something like that. It's nothing but because of the different interests. Because of different interests, we have different attitude and aptitude also. And because of the different interests that we have, we study we have different profession also. The interest is very, very core points, core quality in order to decide the future of the students, okay, the future profession of the individual also. And that is why this interest is very, very important. And one thing is that you cannot start teachings if the student does not have interest. So before the B.Ed, you was engaged as a home tutor or coaching might be there, but how you teach, you taught without the arousal of the interest, and therefore many of your students could not learn effectively from your teaching. Before the teachings, what we need? Arousals of the interest. How can we know that someone is so interested? Somebody we said that's because so much obsession, so much eagerness. That is examples of the having interest. Tumbra. So interest is very, very important, and that is why it is in our syllabus also. The interest is the feelings or emotions, which is related mentally emotions. I also told you that the behavior can be modified because of three domains: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. The importance of affective domain is very, very important. Without the involvement of the affective domains, we cannot change the behavior of the learner. Am I right? So, emotions. The involvement of emotion is very, very important in teaching learning process. The emotion of interest. So without the emotions, we will not have attentions. What is attention? Attention! We are saying in the march spots. Okay, so attention is what? Attention is what? First, interest. Once if you have interest, then attention will come out. So before the attention, interest will be there. Without the interest, you cannot find attentions. Attention is in action. However, interest is in emotions. For the point? So attention is what? Is it affective? Is it cognitive? Is it psychomotor? Huh? Attention is what? It's a psychomotor because it is in action. To focus on an object, events, and process. So once you are interested in something, and then you will look seriously. You will not listen to others. You will look seriously, right? So that is what psychomotor, dominant. So if you are not focusing on a particular objects and events and process or lesson or whatever, then there will be no attentions that if we don't have interest. So attentions, in order to obtain the attention, we need what? Interest. Because of interest, we will have attentions. Once we have attentions, we will be able to focus on object, event, process, or lesson, or something like that. Got the point? So once we are focused, then we will start teaching. So you should forget everything. When you have full interest, and then it will be able to focus, that is, attention will be drawn. So when we have interest and attentions, you open your heart, open your mind. When you open your mind or when you open your brain, we will start teaching. Got the point? Once your brain is not open, if you put inside the mind of the brain, in the brains of the students, nothing can enter. Opening the door, window is must of your brain. Brain do hanguk tra di thong lon jal leitar di aina phanam hairu nothing will enter in your brain. Opening the brains of the student is nothing but the arousal of the interest. Got the point? The emotional interest does not have its own facial expression, of which most prominent component is having dilated pupils. So someone is interested or not, yes, does have its own facial expressions. By face, we know whether you are interested or not. So in the WhatsApp and Facebooks, you are sending the photos of your backside. It shows that you are not having interest. Am I right? Am I right? So if you are interested, you will show your face. Am I right? Okay. So if you are interested, and that will be seen in your face, because face is index of mind, and your pupil will be dilated. John stated that interest is a feeling of likening associated with reactions, either actual or imagined, to a specific things or situations. If you like somebody, if you like some a dress, if you like some foods, how you will behave, it's very simple to know. Ladies are very expert to examine how the gentlemen are looking for. But gentleman doesn't know these techniques. What we call it, hural miyeng. Right, they are very serious. Okay, so what is wrong with you? What is your problems? When one gentleman sing on one lady and the ladies ask, what is wrong with you? Why you are looking seriously on me? Means likening, interest, attentions. Got the point? So likewise, when you are looking seriously on the topics, seriously on the teacher, means you are interested. Once you will be there, and the teacher will start the teachings. Got the point? So you are supposed to meet one officers from whom you will get one help. So you ask to come inside that class, that rooms of the that particular officers, and the officer asks you to take your seat, sit down or something like that, and you take your seat. As soon as possible, will you speak out whatever you like? What will be your strategic steps in order to get your help? You will introduce yourselves before saying whatever you like. Am I right? I myself did this. I'm coming, sir. Sir, you are really. I learned that you are really helpful in this regard, and that is why I'm coming. Will you help me, sirs? I would like to say something. Introduction is always necessary. So any books, if you open, you can find introductions. Do you find? So before the creating introduction is nothing but creating the interest, so that learner will read that books also. Books are introducing to you. So likewise, you should introduce yourself to your students. Some steps are there. I think none of you doesn't have the ideas that how can you plan your lessons. So these too early, but before the teachings of the day's topics, you should arouse the interest among the students, because interest is likening which will be able to process of learning. Learning is possible once we arouse the interest. Got the point? And Bangam also defined that interest is a tendency to become absorbed in experience and to continue it, while an aversion in a tendency is to turn away from it to something else. So I hope that we use the word that digests. If whatever we are eating, if it is not digested, what is wrong with us in digestion? Once we have indigestions and gastric problems or vomiting might be there. Am I right? So this is a biological process. So if you are not interested, you will not listen to the lecture given by the teachers. You could not absorb, and what the teacher are giving, it will be. There will be two types of the interest. There will be two types of interest. One is extrinsic, another is intrinsic. What are the properties of extrinsic? Huh? Only outer. What are the properties of extrinsic? If I am not putting these questions and you will not have interest, and that is why I am putting questions. I'm not trying to get answers from you. Putting question is also arousal of interest. Got the point? Once we confuse, once we face the problems and we start thinking, the thinking is what? Is the arousal of interest. This is connected with the purpose and goal of an activities. Once the purpose is over and this interest will be over. Suppose you have a hungriness now. Once hungriness is relieved after having the food, whether hungriness will be there. So that kind of interest is what? Extrinsic, temporary. It is external in nature. It may involve fame, name, money, victory, or such external motives of conduct. Okay? The extrinsic interest dies as soon as the goal is directed, reached. Means it is a goal-directed interest. This is the temporary. Once exam is over and you will not start study. Okay, this is what we call it extrinsic interest. But some students are there who never stops the studies if the exam is over. What kind of extrinsic, what kind of interest that student has? Means internal, connected with the activity itself, being basics and real attractions without any external motives. So some of you are not interested inside the class, but everybody study, everybody interest toward those topics, those lessons, and that is why you have to concentrate. Internal, okay, it's internal, not external. Larik phaba man bagi wane mamata kisi haram da basu yaye. Second disidi taseng na pharaba taseng na haining laba taseng na ko khangning ba kangbu tu ne. Study habit later kangbu hai tare ne. Mi na hai drigai ojana hai drigai ojana homework pirak drigai ima ipa na pau hai drigai ko pa da kangbu ne first kise. Second kisidi kedore homework yu har kane. Nuai te ay yum dan lai nuai te sir madam or miss homework you are kane. Got the point? One is internal, one is external. So intrinsic interest is continuous and permanent if the immediate goal is reached. If the goal is achieved, and they will remain steady. This is a permanent interest, because not only the passing the particular course or examinations, but to make a successful lives. Angang karam di pass tang pameba, but angang karam di apavami punsi the mai papami oining. And those who think for a successful life is what? Intrinsics. Got the point? It is internal in nature, and it is permanent also. And this is opposite to the extrinsic interest. So from the extrinsic point of view, from intrinsic point of views, everybody does not have same type of the interest. Everybody does not have same level of the extrinsic or intrinsic. Those students who have extrinsic interest, the level may be different, the area may be different. Likewise in interest also, intrinsic also. Different areas of intrinsic interest might be, someone may be chemistry, someone may be biology, someone may be, language, maths, like that. In intrinsic also, there is a big difference one student to another. So same like that of the extrinsic also. Got the point? But one thing is that the extrinsic interest can be converted into the intrinsic. There is a possibility of conversion from the extrinsic to intrinsic. Okay, so those steps will be discussed later on. Now, what is the meaning of psychology? Meaning of the learning interest. The same thing is coming out, that interest is feeling or emotions that cause attention to focus on a object, event, or process. If you are able to focus, means you have to forget everything and you have to absorb the ideas on a particular area, process, or event, or object. Suppose you are the football players, you will forget everything. You will focus, and you have to know the timing where the time on which you will kick the balls also. At what time the ball will be passing, to whom you will pass your balls. So at what time you will kick the balls. Okay, so that is what interests. Now, what are the student interests? Let's discuss separately also here. The education, the interest of a student is nothing but its engagements. Have you been gone through the word engagements? If you engage, can you have the chance to meet, or can you have the chance to choose other partner? Once engagement is over, no, you are reserved. You have already reserved under engagements, and there is no any options of other partners. So during the engagements of the student cannot go outside, cannot think of others. His mind is completely engaged legally inside the class, like the various engagements. Engage orgadi katukaran tobu ya dedana adumai togdana kedor student engagement haiba targadi mai gi wakal se haidokpa yaroreba study the engage tobu lai gram le katukaran tobu yaroreba legally engage tobu gram le. What the points? Class time matam se ida ngasai gi kedoba nupa duna nupi duna nupa du dang khanbagi type ta. That will be happen inside the class. Okay, so it's referred to the degree of attention. Degree of attention, someone is high, someone is medium, someone is low, like degree of attention will be theirs, and curiosity also there, interest also there, optimism also there, and passion also there. That is what the student interests. So do you remember? I think you never followed these rules during your student time. Sigi rules ilamoy. Ko adi duna satra thawai yaw duba man pamjada subject to the mark pangway name ganel. Man serious over area duda interest leiba attention leiba jaga duda di mark yam panganel. Yan tare ko engage leiba mi duda luhong do natro. Engage leiba mi duda luhong yak puntibo. Tumbrane engage leiba haibadi thawai yaw ba haibane. Thawai yaw ba subject to the mark panganel. Thawai yaw do mo pam duda di mark pangro. Sumbra engage haibadi yana rabneva kudong saba mateng tong na raseni yana rabneva. Sumbra adu nang thamoi sengdana kedore satra malaga thamme khallasine kariguma subject amada hairibu subject dagi kariguma kudong saba ndo pangro amta nising bangamro. What the point? So arousal of the students' interest is very, very important. Now, we need to measure the level of the interest. Is it extrinsic or intrinsic? What will be the degree? What is the area? There is a psychological testings are there. And because of that, we can say, because I also told you that interest is everything. On the basis of interest, we will decide our course also, either science, arts, commerce, vocational, or technical, medical, engineering, agree like that. The profession will be decided on the basis of interest. I hope that you like to be a teacher, and that is why you are coming. Am I right? How many of you are not interested to the teaching professions? Please raise your hands. Is there anybody wrongly admitted here? Nobody, because we have done the entrance test on the basis of teaching aptitude. Okay. Likewise, knowing the interest is also very, very important. And because of this interest inventory measure will measure which kind of interest that you have. And because of that, it will decide what will be your future careers. Got the point? Those people who are opting mainly biology at 11 and 12, they may become the medical profession. Chumbra, if the person, somebody is there who like to be doctor, but his study is in art stream, is it possible? See, interest will decide our futures. Yaning bro. So it is based on the work of E.K. Strong Jr., who originally published his inventory on measurement of interest in terms of the measurement of interest. 1927 da media already hana khangre interest kayamu yam darkar oigesi adui duna interest measure tongna na psychological kedo batul shamdok tan loi kre kyam yam advance oi ge do ni gi 1927 na loi gra thau ne ke adidi akoi di hojik ti ke dore akoi development ta dri masar lorbo interest kaino masigi importance kaino ji koi khang dri yam thine min hen gi sa ki ge. The assessment is often used to aid people in making educational and career decisions. Okay, the educational courses and then the future profession will be decided on the basis of the interest, which is measured by psychological tests. Psychological tests of buduna maram oir kanda tungda kari profession oi biya bage have se angang bagi profession do am line le pangam gone. Yaning bro, yaning da bro. Yaning da yaw bro. So how do students engage in the classroom? This is also very, very important. This is our concern. Make it meaningful. In aiming for full engagement, it is essential that students perceive activities as being meaningful. When a student is inside a class, and he should be very, very meaningful. Why I am sitting here, and what topic which is discussed by a teacher, and what are the uses of the topic which is discussed today, and how can I will use the informations, not only from examination point of view, but also in my day-to-day life also. Got the point? Foster sense of competence. Because of interest, we will acquire a lot of competence. So if you are so interested, say like video editing, and therefore you learn from your junior, senior, and lastly you improve the skills of video editing. As you improve one competencies, okay, sense of competence, skill man sing say, cry the helakani hairkana because of interest. If you like to play the games, the footballs, and then you will have competency in the area of footballing. Not wrong, because interest will decide. To provide autonomy support, the learners will be autonomy. So whatever he like to think, whatever he like to learn, autonomy should be there. The teachers should not interfere. Parents should not interfere. When the students, the children are studying at home, and then we will not ask the students, we will not ask our children to activities. While the student is starting the study at their home, the assignment given by the teacher or any others. At the moment when the student is starting his or her studies, if the parents are asking to help domestic works, domestic activity every day, and lastly the children will learn that, oh, this is not right to studies. Instead of that, we need to help our parents. This kind of concept will be developed in the mind of the children. Am I right? Aina larik pa abu matamda ekta ima ipan pakon seri larik pa abu sin lan ma ne larik pa abu tu ima ipan mating to una phai na chat ki doine mai wakalon do chumra lambra maramdi the parents are not helping the children in order to study seriously. Parents tuna ngasai support to dre anga amana am class wa am kan holding ai ga nang adumai to idun la le ai hot pigel au hai rutardi mai autonomy phangmi bravo phangdre ko mai independent phangdre Langera chungera, whatever he is doing the class works, and he should submit to the teacher when teacher asks to submit. Chumbra, ojadona poro noi class work people do noi kana lower yeng again hire matam do submit to gutam there. Aduna loy hot peer again hire tardi. That is overlapping, over interfere to the autonomy of the learning process. Angan si matom dan like pahan gatam there. Tony Kudim Kongkang Kudim Ying Tardi, he will be dependent always to the parent, to the teachers. Shall we depend throughout the lives to our teacher and parents? No, that is immature life. Go, aduni lakui pose. Embrace collaborative learnings. If you have a problems, then you take the help of your friends, or you can learn some strategic steps from your friends, how your friends learn the physics, biology, maths, English, Manipuri, then you. Nang di so le adu nang di friend mayam sing di adu matik yam sathina nang on dagi hen score to we adu tar di nang gi learn to bagi lambi se la le nang di friend mark yam phangi ba mi do adu na chum dana mark yam phangi na tro adu dai du collaborate to botai tana botai bai si kamai to ro kamai hai gini la yek busi kamai to yi gai chin na hai bna te nang brush payu nang brush pai bagi angle bu ma yen uhung tu ne kamai to ro ma brush pai ra gi yi gai si bu uhung tu ya ro Madam, the skill to learn to the Nina. Chumra. Collaborative learning is always. We should not think that I am the best. I quite power meaning have is Sungayaroni. Adu Muta, collaborative way. Examination the Pudo Kadavani. Examination the collaborative Yatiko. Positive teacher student relationships. If the teacher is blaming always the students, yes, at the beginning, the behavior of the students may not be changed. But at last, after so many days, students will start blaming the teachers. Because students are learning from a teacher. Chumbro lambro hai sibo. Masi uzaji sok lawi na haira uidraba. Uzadar nung tizagi sum sok law saladi. Angang singsi sok law haira ane. Because students are learning from a teacher. Oh, if you are so cooperative, student will be cooperative. Why your children, why your student is not cooperative to you? Now the cooperative or the bigi phone do nani. Saturday do cooperative or the children do na the hungry kumakri do. Now the cooperative or the winner. Now reserve to winner. Because children are learning from the parents and teacher. Parents is a first teacher and the teacher is the second parent. Am I right? So you are second parents. Are you teaching as a teacher or are you teaching as a guardian or parent? You never teach your students as a guardian, as a teacher. You teach your student as a teacher. And that is why your student has a lot of issues. Lang angang nang khala like takti ba. Uza duna mai masada tapi baga pedoba. Mi masa tapi ba khenani da. Chumbro lambro langi angang du tapi baga langi sadra tapi baga soidana khena bam thamni da. Hamoidro. There is big issues. I also told you that parents is teacher and teacher is also parents, second parents. Nang si parent ne teacher na tero. Nang angang ne khala tapi ga dan ne matam du da hai ga da ne. Hai traga shau lok salo ro di yaro. Chumbro lambro chumo angani ko. Promote the mastery orientations. Before doing, any kind of activities, we should orient our students. Any type of amatogrinida, karamain togodigesi. This is very, very important. Okay? Shall I proceed to the next slides? What is important interest and attention in education? Once interest is here, we can pay the closer attention. Attention will be drawn if we have interest. Attention is not possible without interest. Got the point? So, most effective learning is what? Thinking, making connection between old and new knowledge, attending to deep structure instead of the surface features. So, in order to know the deeper structure, it's not possible without the interest. So interest is in a task we work harder and process longer because of interest. Once we have interest, we will work harder. Sa mayam social service to seva. Adi kharam ni yang the thawa yang to buneva. So pheba sunai ro. Kharam di asware da pham de lai thok to gi do honor kaneva. So that is what different type of interest. That is one is extrinsic malanba. Another is intrinsic asengba. So the difference between the bee and butterfly. Butterfly si man bani lai de tungi do ko. Khui ga chupa mai gi makon de masa pijana ba ga man bane ba. Ta seng bai di natte masa tholo chan doi ne. What about the bees? magi khalloiba collect tawraga asomda pugi toine. This difference between a butterfly and bee. One is extrinsic and one is intrinsic. Intrinsic to ni ko khoi tanari se. Let me check out. Whoosh, so many lengthy. How can we finish? My time is about to finish. Wait. I will show you. Oh, it was over, right? This is a research finding. This is a research finding that once we have interest, and then more powerful prediction of the future choices also. Okay, interest later the kedoba adum angang some na ara kan the larger su why thoibi choose khamba no the nong ones. Khamba is so energetic, so interested, so attentive towards his life. Chumran larger su ma arrive mi oigideva like su ko irang phalang tawdagi ko cycle amada like atha ba yalagi am thawa yausaba mi ne khamba is. Adumai tawdana ladies are also serious. Ko masi tungda mi oirakpa yai masi khanaba yai kai moi khalline serial 1 2 3 kai masi oirakpa yai guys. Okay, here also please take only the photos. I don't like to take the time to explain it. The problem with me so adam like adu iduna maram orakana interest so adam directana bai macha am su laiba nati isam narikanda diff dumb oitardi or blind oitardi problem might be there atra our difficulty to learn the language, difficulty learning the mathematics, may have difficulty to learn the sciences also. So many issues are also there. We will not discuss here. Just take only this. So without the creation of interest in the mind of a student, teacher could not start teaching, as it is the foundation of the learning process. You should create it. So in the view of the interest, everyone does not have the same type of level of interest, as there is a big difference among the different students, and that is why different students get a different marks in different subjects. Am I right? Different persons have different professions due to having different type of interest. Without interest, no one can learn, as it is must for attention which causes learning. Without the creation of interest in the mind of students, teacher could not start teaching, and it is a foundation of learning process. So with this, let me stop here, as my time is over, and wish you all the best.